tell you a lot about APF and what their mission is. So now Molly is going to show you a video about our trip.
Hi, we're here in Haiti on our alternative break. And so the alternative break model works to create a more socially equitable world where students become active citizens, not only in their own communities but across the globe. So the theme of our trip was women's empowerment and their role in human development. And so we have partnered with two great community organizations, which I will tell you about.
Yeah, so one of our community partners is APF, the Presence of Rachel Fondois. Was started by a really inspirational man named Father Joseph Louis. And he grew up in Fondois, which is a village in rural Haiti, and saw sort of the absence of a strong state and the need to provide services to his community. And so organized people from there, and they created, a school, elementary or primary, secondary school, and also a university, health clinic, a veterinary clinic. They have an orphanage, a women's group. They just are really, really well organized.
It's an umbrella organization for smaller community organizations.
I am Sherry Joseph. I am the coordinator of the organization, like a women organization and focuses for the alternative.
We were at a school started by APF, which is the Association of Peasants of Guatemala. And this school was completely destroyed during the earthquake in 2010. And just now, in 1 year, they rebuilt it to this beautiful campus. So we're at APF today, which is Association of the Peasants of Guatemala. And today we're helping them plant some seeds that they got from France, and they're hoping that it'll sort of take root, and they're going to see how it does with the land.
Identifier yon kote, nou wè ke bezwen plante pi bois, epi nou planifiye, nou ane plante pi bois. Nan ke nou konde yo pa fè bet manje ou bi yo pa plache.
Why don't we know that they are not going to be eaten by
I would say the most interesting part so far has been sitting down with some of the kids at the university and just sort of seeing how they're so driven to come back to the community and give back after they've learned.
I would like to know the objective of the visit, what we do exactly, which part is the information that we create.
I think a lot of it is getting that information to other people. So our fellow students, faculty members, people at different organizations in DC, and just spreading awareness, and then from that, action can be taken. So our job is sort of like to be a messenger to take what we learn here and share.
And say the APF office in Washington, D.C. And we have a close relationship with the people who work there. Our work does not end when we leave Haiti, because our trip is supposed to be more than just a trip. We would like to keep our relationship with APF and going
right, well, hi, I'm Molly. I'm a freshman here at AU. I'm studying communications law, economics, and government. And what first drew me to the Outbreak program and to the Haiti trip in particular was the fact that it focuses on women's empowerment and the role women play in international development. Coming in, I had, I would say, a pretty limited understanding of what international development even meant. You can learn about international development in theory, but you don't necessarily understand it until you see it for yourself. So I think that that was one of my biggest takeaways, was going to a country and seeing the people there and kind of delving deeper into the narrative that we've been told about Haiti. I know I had a lot of preconceptions coming in that were proven completely wrong when I was there, and for that reason, I think it's an experience that everyone should take part in.
Hello again. So I'm Jennifer, majoring in public health, minoring in international relations, and doing pre-med. As a Haitian, I've gone back with my family and, visit, but it's spending time with family and not really like delving into the issues that affect the people of Haiti on a daily basis. So going with the group, I was really surprised at the amount of like hardship that people were dealing with on a day-to-day basis and still finding the strength to be so happy and driven and strong and just willing to wake up every day in hope of something different. And that's one thing that I took away from the trip.
Hi there, I'm Elise Calat. I'm a business language Spanish major and environmental science minor. So I really didn't have any connection, prior knowledge, other than hearing about the earthquake of Haiti or development. But recently, I became an intern this spring at the Grameen Foundation, which also partners with Foncose, and I recently kind of fell into the development field. And so I saw this trip as a really interesting way to learn more about it, get a hands-on view. I was really excited about the people we were working with because we've got some really talented and knowledgeable students that I was excited to kind of learn from. And the trip was that and more. So we read a lot. We did a lot of, like Anjali said on the video, kind of introspection, discussion, and then we got to see things hands-on, which really, was personally very formative in my understanding of development, in my understanding of my role as a citizen, domestically and globally. And so, without getting too cliche, it was definitely very eye-opening and a great experience. So. I guess now we can open it up if anyone has any specific questions. We're here to answer them. Otherwise, we can talk more.
Yeah, in the back.
So what impact did the trip have on your future plans in terms of like career goals or maybe even switching majors or choosing concentrations?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, great question. I know for me, I wasn't, like I said, I had no real knowledge of international development. I really saw myself going into politics here in the United States, and I still want to do that. But I also have decided to add a minor in international relations, and I'm actually taking an international development class next semester, and I'm really excited to kind of bring a global perspective to whatever I end up doing here in the United States. I think it's really important for our policymakers to have that and to really think about how what they do here affects people all over the world. So that definitely has changed. We have somebody joining us. Anjali, do you want to introduce yourself? Sure.
Hi, my name is this working? Yeah. Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Anjali. I am a second-year student, and I am an international development major with an economics minor. Did everyone speak already? Okay, great. Actually, I'm taking a class on economic development right now, and a lot of my classes are development focused. Going to Haiti was very interesting for me because it was a way to see how what we're learning in our development classes actually plays out in the real world in Haiti, especially because some of the theories that we learn and some of the kind of development, we talk about the USAID and their influences, and then you go to Haiti and you see how, it may or may not contradict what you're learning in class or may not go hand in hand with what you're learning in class. I think that's very interesting, and I'm, writing papers on what we learned in Haiti now, and I think going forward, taking development forward, and being able to understand its true impact on different countries was a really valuable learning experience for me from being in Haiti.
And just to touch a little bit on your question back there, personally, like I mentioned, it was a very developmental time for me to learn about development because I hadn't really learned about it before and I hadn't really recognized it as its own field. I just thought about helping people in other third world countries, and I guess I recognized underdevelopment, but I didn't think about how everyone's actions, either on purpose or not on purpose, affects other people in other places of the world. And so having kind of this holistic view from going to Haiti and working at an internship and taking classes has definitely made me realize, like I mentioned before, our role. And I think whether that manifests as a career or just kind of personal actions, everyone has kind of made certain goals. Personally, I am very interested in a career in development and going about it the right way. And so that's kind of personally like how it influenced me.
I would say for me, it sort of solidified my goal of doing medicine in developing countries. Foncosé, one of the partners we work with, they provide free healthcare to all of their clients. So that was really powerful to me, and sort of like seeing firsthand what needs to change allowed for me to make a plan for myself. Right here in the front.
You guys have all touched a lot on how what you learned in Haiti kind of maybe contradicted or made you rethink what you've learned in the classroom, what your role is as a U.S. citizen in international development. Do you have any sort of specific lessons or stories that you learned from your partners in Haiti that you would like to share with us back in the U.S. to kind of rethink that relationship?
I want to go first.
Yeah, sure. It's a really, really good question.
It is a great question. So, a little bit more generally, I think. One of the ways that the U.S. has tried to aid Haiti is by subsidizing their exports of rice to Haiti. Very interestingly, one thing that we observed there is that, yes, the U.S. may send these exports or subsidize exports to Haiti of rice, but what does this do to local production of rice? And I mean, that's just something that I kind of observed and we talked about a lot in terms of the broader international implications of that. And I think people probably have more specific examples, but that's just one thing that came to mind immediately.
Yeah, so going along with that, we read a book called The Big Trek That Went By Jonathan Katz, and it's really interesting because it highlighted a lot of the good things that came after the earthquake that actually kind of manifested in a negative way eventually. And so things like rice, mango packs, things that just were supposed to be economically good, but if you looked a little closer, they really were not achieving the payoff that people thought they would, and it was harming people more than helping them, which you can see as Haiti is not any better off than it was before the earthquake. And so also something we learned about, which has started to come to light kind of in recent years. Maybe you've seen it like in little manifestos on social media, but just people's role. So like, should I be going to Haiti? Is that my role? Maybe I don't need to be on the ground there. Maybe my purchases and my role in advocating for certain legislation, that's my role as a U.S. citizen on U.S. soil. And then letting, Haitian citizens and people involved in their economy assume those roles in Haiti, start their own shops, tutor their own children, and because people have certain roles that they need to play in order for everyone to be successful. Me going to Haiti might not really be helping. It might make me feel really great, and I'd be like, oh, that was awesome, I saw all this cool stuff, but that's still exploitative, I think that's the right word, right conjugation of that word, and so you have to think about, like, I'm actually trying to help, but you're still continuing the exploitation, which is what you're aiming to stop. So it's just thinking about your role in that way, and that's a huge, reversal and kind of counterintuitive concept that I think was really shown to us when we saw all the other groups that were going there at the same time that we were, and when we read about it in a lot of our, slum tourism articles and stuff like that.
Yeah, just going off of that, Haiti is referred to as the Republic of NGOs because, increasingly after the earthquake, but also prior to the earthquake, foreign NGOs would go into Haiti and kind of play the role that government was supposed to. So they got involved in the education system and healthcare and in all of the areas that government is really expected to support the people. But what happened was that there was a lot of miscommunication between there was a lot of like alienation of the people there. So when you take agency out of the hands of a country's citizens, you're actually hurting more than you're helping. So I think one of the things that stood out to me so profoundly was how truly successful grassroots organizations are. I mean, we didn't see USAID or the Red Cross in action. We saw grassroots organizations, very small, set up in local communities, making a huge impact on the people there. And to me, that was incredibly inspiring, and it just really solidified my faith in the fact that grassroots organizations are capable of producing change on a very large structural level. And I think that was just another takeaway. So really, our role donating to the Red Cross is great. That is helping, but it might be more effective to find those smaller grassroots organizations in little communities in other countries and working with them. So that too.
One thing for me that would be my greatest takeaway is that all foreign aid isn't good. You see a lot about in the news, like Red Cross is doing this, USAID is doing this, but when you go and you talk to the people, and it's something that's there, and it's not really as beneficial as you would think it is, because oftentimes, like, if a disaster strikes, these NGOs come in and they take on the form of the government, and then after the disaster is deemed like not like emergency level, they leave. And during that time, they've sort of assumed the role of government, and the government is backed off, and then the government is left to assume power again, and you can't, like, that happening over and over again causes instability within the country, which is why oftentimes Haiti is deemed to be unstable, but it's not like the reason why isn't given. So that, I think, would be like what I take away from it, that all foreign aid is not positive. Next question.
More of a comment slash question. I went to Haiti at alternative spring break to St. University of Cornwall about 10 years ago, and it's just interesting to hear the level of sophistication of your analysis of some of the situations, some of the experiences of Haitians and how aid works or doesn't work. I used to work for USAID, and just listening to you guys, I'm actually happy to hear some of your comments. I guess my other question, or I have a question, what sort of prep work or prep reading did you do before you went to Haiti? And also, because I know when I went 10 years ago, we looked at sustainable development projects. We didn't focus on women. I'm just curious to know, like, what specific projects did you look at?
Does anyone want to answer specific?
Yeah, it's really awesome that was your second question, because I was gonna say, like, the trip was outlined such by our wonderful leaders and then our faculty advisor, that kind of provided for us to like reach this level of understanding, and then they set up all of our readings and everything. So we read and add anything that I'm forgetting. We read the Big Truck That Went By Jonathan Katz, which I mentioned. We read several. We read, what was the chapter? We read several passages from a book. Beverly Bell, Walking on Fire, and it had a lot of excerpts from Haitian women. Am I correct? Yeah, and so that was really interesting and enlightening. And then we also read 2 articles that talked and revolved a little bit around voluntourism and slum tourism. If anyone remembers the exact names, we can talk about that. What else did we read? We read... we read To Hell with Good Intentions. That was really interesting, because that obviously talks a lot about what we've been talking about. And then additionally, we were provided with a reading list, so I personally read Haiti After the Earthquake by Paul Farmer, and then also Mountains Beyond Mountains, which is about Paul Farmer, by Tracy Kidder. Yes. So, yeah, do you guys want to follow up a little bit more too?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question because the prep work is the reason we were able to do that kind of analysis. I mean, like I said, going in, I had very limited knowledge of international development. I had a lot of preconceptions, like I said, and that was really broken down by our prep work. We met like twice a month as a group. Our meetings would be like maybe 2 hours, all discussion based. And like some of the ideas were difficult to accept. They definitely were challenging because you get kind of set into a certain way of thinking about foreign countries and foreign aid in general, and it can be kind of hard to take a step back and really break that down and question whether or not that's fully accurate. So I know there were definitely parts that were hard, but I would not have been able to get as much out of the experience without that. So I think that that's another component that's really lacking in international aid is people maybe don't have the necessary preparation. People don't have, the education that really goes into a trip like this. That kind of goes into the aspect of volunteerism. People just go to other countries and they do good work, but are they really getting as much out of it as they could be if they had taken some time to really prepare prior to going? So that's definitely what it meant to me. It was fantastic.
And then, to speak to kind of the second part of your question, which was asking about women and specific projects, specifically that we did in Haiti, we were working with Foncosé, I believe that's probably been mentioned, and they worked through a CLM program to kind of use women as the gateway to the family, and that kind of follows the model of Grameen, based in Bangladesh. And what they did was empower women through these different steps. They would kind of take these different steps towards being able to write their name, then to going into more how to have entrepreneurial kind of visions, and then to eventually starting their own kind of small businesses or local businesses. So that was kind of one way that we were involved with specific projects with women. And then the second one, we actually had the opportunity when we were in Port-au-Prince to meet with a group called Kofavif. And they are a group of women who work specifically with women in Port-au-Prince who are survivors of assault or of violence, whether that's physical, economic, psychological, and they provide legal support as well as physical support and resources for women there. So that was an incredibly inspirational opportunity to be able to speak with women who are fighting for other women in their community.
Awesome. So I know we had one more question in the back, and then maybe we can switch over to our speaker. Did you want to? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, we did see a lot of UN soldiers, which was very interesting. It definitely gave us a new light on UN pursuits. But yeah, we didn't see any Peace Corps or anything like that. Yeah. Kelly has gone through the application process and has decided to take a different job, but I'm also interested in applying for the Peace Corps potentially next year. I don't know about you guys. I think they're a little young right now. Yeah, but yeah. Yeah. So, I'm going to transition. Thank you guys for your questions. Those are really good.
And again, thanks for all your lovely questions. So now I'm going to introduce you to our speaker, Andre Van Keur. He's the founder and executive director of Association Paysan Fondois, USA. Andre studied business and public administration and earned his MBA with a concentration in general management. From 1990 to 1996, he was a member of the board of director and co-director of the Washington Office on Haiti, a grassroots organization. Andre was an advisor to Father Joseph on the creation of Foncosé and a consultant to the Haitian Embassy in Washington, D.C. He's also a spokesperson for the Haitian American diaspora and a liaison between the Haitian communities and supporters of Haiti. So without further ado, Andre.
Thank you, Jennifer. No, much for that beautiful introduction. Thank you very much. Shoshana, where do I stand? Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Andre Venker. As I've been. Is this on? Also recording. So I don't need to use it. Okay. Okay. Sorry that I'm late. Unfortunately, there are some constructions on Connecticut Avenue. And as my older brother always says, that should not be a problem because I should have known to leave 20 minutes earlier, which I did not. So I take full blame, full responsibility for this. Thank you, Shoshana. Thank you for the American university students who invited me. And by inviting me, you're inviting the people of Fondwa, whom you have visited on several occasions, almost twice a year. And you are doing a great job. So without any further ado, so you invited me to talk about human rights. As a former human rights activist, I would say that the human rights violations in Haiti are getting better. Because if we are looking back 20 years ago, when you had coups after coups of the government, and you had massacres of the people of Haiti through gun machines, 5,000 people in one overthrown of a government. That was atrocity. That was the name. But nevertheless, violations continue. And I have here with me a report put together by Human Rights Watch. It seems like the number one violation is against women. It's violence against women. I'm reading it says gender-based violence is a widespread problem. Draft revisions to Haiti's criminal code, which at time of writing were waiting approval of the Council of Ministers before introduction to Parliament. Parliament is the, I would say, that's the Haitian Congress. Include acts of gender-based violence such as rape, sexual assault. These are not currently in the Haitian Code. Women seeking accountability for sexual violence crimes encounter multiple obstacles, including reproach by members of the public or threats. There was one particular high-profile case where a woman pressed charges against a former justice minister. She claimed that he had raped her in 2012. So she reported that. And her justice was not heard. She was not heard. She was rejected. The second violence of human rights is against homosexuals, lesbians. I say it bluntly because so we know what we are talking about. But you would say gender identity. There is an organization that is called CEROV. CEROV is a Haitian community-based organization which has a dual focus on health and Haiti's sexual minorities. And the reason why they say sexual minorities is because, of course, in the past, there was that law here President Clinton has passed that says don't tell, what was it again? Don't tell, don't ask, don't tell. But after that, you hear rumors that a lot of people said, oh, she's out of the closet, or he's out of the closet. But in Haiti, there are women in the closet. So it's like don't ask, don't tell. So that's why they said it's in the minority. You would never know the number of homosexuals that there are. So most of them keep it private. So that's why they said minority. That organization was founded in 1999. But it was until last year, on July 21, that the Haitian government issued a statement condemning homophobic violence. Condemning. It's not that they're making a law against it. They're just condemning it. If you're doing something well, you are wrong, stuff like that. But that doesn't mean there is an action that's going to be taken against you. So that's what it is. As this program is titled Human Rights Defenders, that makes you and I human rights defenders. Well, let me tell you what happened in Haiti. Human rights defenders are also a category of people who have been abused. There is a specific case of a gentleman named Patrick Flovilis. He is a pro bono lawyer. He received death threats since he was representing two men who were injured during a police intervention in an IDP camp in April. One of them died. But Flovilis summoned the police department. And since that day, Flovilis cannot rest because of intimidation, of trying to take his own life. I would go on, citing cases of different categories of human rights abuses, but I prefer simply to say that us at APF, we recognize that there is a list of about 30 violations according to the Declaration of Human Rights Law. There are different ways of losing your rights, but we decide that women, youth, education, these are the most important rights that a human being can have, especially because in the rural areas, those violations are more flagrant. Those young ladies who went from American University, who went to Fondwa on alternative break, can tell you their experiences with women. It is only today, thanks of APF, that women can go to school. And start getting an education, women can actually go to school. You are not allowed to go to school. Only men go to school. And when you go to school, the only way you would finish your education is by going to the capital. And when you get to the capital, if you don't have the funds necessary, you don't get an education. So, having acknowledged different type of violations, let me introduce you to what we do at APF to counter that. This is a beautiful map of Haiti. This actually is a mountain that was green during the time that I was growing up, and all trees were cut during the 1960s and 70s. And in the 80s, when I returned I left Haiti in 1973, and when I returned in 1985, I was not sure I was back in Haiti because all I saw was the land, no trees. And my father said, "Oh, yes, you are not wrong. This is Haiti. I'm your dad, and this is where you are. That's your home country." And okay, so since then, we've tried to done things about it. You can go to the next slide. Same thing. So those isolated trees that you see are the efforts of APF, of course, with some partner organizations that give us funds to replant trees and cultivate the land. It's getting better. It's greener. This is a road that we take real pride to talk about because, as you see, this area is very mountainous. It is difficult to have cars driving by and through, and you guys know you've been there. You see you see how it is. But there is a main road from the capital to a closer place called Jacmel, which is more developed than Fondwa. And Father Joseph says, well, all we use over there at Fondwa is honkies and horses and stuff like that. So we gotta get people using to drive cars too, and when we get guests to come and visit us so they can drive. So we built a road from the main road to the center, which is about 5 kilometers. But we're not gonna stay there. We intend to continue and reach Fondwa, not Fondwa, Jacmel, through the mountains. Next one, please. This is actually the first thing that among the first thing we created was a center. After the road, we decided that now that we have road, we're gonna have visitors from all over the place coming and we cannot put them in the jupas that we have, so we have to create some decent um, place for them to stay. And the reason why I say that is because once you have an NGO, you want to do serious things that you have to ask for funds because the government doesn't give you funds. If the government doesn't care about building schools for the children, the government is not gonna care, to give you money to to create a center. Next one, please. And unfortunately, as you all know, on January 10, 2012, I believe. No, January 12, 2010, there was a big earthquake in Haiti, and the picture that you saw earlier was before the earthquake, and this is what it looks like after the earthquake. Not right now, but it looks like after the earthquake. Next one, please. This is a solution to the deprivation of education rights of the children. So we've decided that we keep the children in Fondwa and educate them so they don't have to go to Port-au-Prince and add to the delinquency of Port-au-Prince and what they call also the it's kind of serve the purpose of decentralization as well. So this is the school again that we uh, built prior to the earthquake. Next one, please, Shoshana. And this is what it looked like on January 12, 2010. Next one, please. Well, thanks to God, that's the way it looks now in 2014. But not only thanks to God, but thanks to partners like you, partners like Fond Causé, partners like Partners in Progress, PIP, Family Health Ministries, American Jewish World Services. These people have decided that they're going to lend a hand to Father Joseph, to APF, because we know that education is very important to us, and we were very disappointed down, after the didn't know what we're going to do, almost ready to give. I was ready to give up. Father Joseph wasn't, but I was ready to give up. And we got encouraged and we have help. So this is what it looks like right now. That is another measure taken against the deprivation of education. We decided that having an elementary and high school in Fondwa is not enough. Because what happened when they graduate high school? What are we gonna do? They graduate high school and then they just walk around like with the what do you call high school diploma and walking around not doing anything. Basically, you have an education, but do you have uh, uh, um, something that you can do beside knowing that you know how to read and write? You have to learn a trade. You have to have a profession. You have to be able to be qualified to run for office, get certain type of jobs. So we decided that on the bicentennial anniversary of Haiti, we are going to create a university, the first rural university in Haiti. So we've created the University of Fondwa in 2004. Next one, please. And unfortunately, during the earthquake, that's what happened. That's what it looked like during the earthquake. Next one, please. And Shoshana knows that's what it looks like right now because that's where they go, that's where they visit, that's where they take the students. It's not done. In fact, it's not even started. This is a temporary housing for the university. Next one, please, Shoshana. This is what it looks like inside. Is that a hall? I think it was, right? A hall? It's a hall, yeah, it's a hall. And that is the day of inaugurating the elementary school. And on the left, top left, that's Father Joseph celebrating a mass of happiness, having the school we built and school started again. You can see the children below lining up with their beautiful uniform. And one thing I'm always favored is Haiti, that's the way it is too. You put the girls in the front because we give priorities. We're trying to change things around. We give priority to the girls. Everything we do, we put the girls first, And who are those people? This is, of course, speaks for itself that uh, that's the American University alternative break of 2011 or 2011 or 12. Yeah, one of those two. And in the center, that beautiful white girl with a beautiful smile, that's my friend Rebecca. The reason why I said my friend Rebecca is because right after this trip to Haiti, they came back and I have said, now that you know about Fondua, you know about Haiti, I need help at the office. And I said, Shoshana, can you please lend me one of the students? And I don't know what Shoshana did to convince Rebecca, but Rebecca was the first one to come. Intern. Thank you very much for that. Next one. And these are the students mingling with the elementary. Oh, but prior to the previous picture, they were mingling with the high school students. And now they are mingling with the elementary students. Again, with the high school students, that's Rebecca talking to them and questioning them, what do you say, practicing her French. And above, I guess Shoshana is there somewhere, no? Oh, okay. Some of those beautiful young ladies of American University who decided to take a break and enjoy the beach of Haiti. And down here, I guess that's the 2013.
That's 2013.
13. Is that Kelly down there? Yeah. That's Kelly, yeah. 2013. That's the airport. By the way, you guys notice the difference of the airport. The airport is an improvement as well. But since I'm not here to give credit to the government, so we move on. This is the unfinished part of the road that we talked about earlier. You see the first part of the road is paved, and this part is not paved. It takes a lot, not only money, it is very difficult to construct a road between mountains. So that's why it takes time. Next one, please. Oh, there's no next one. Okay, so actually the last slide is a way to tell you that we have not yet finished the work that we have started, and we have much more ahead. And I'll stop here. If there's any question, I'll be glad to entertain the questions. Thank you very much. Jennifer, first question? Yes, sir.
Yes, please. When I was in Haiti a few years ago, I visited Cité Soleil.
Cité Soleil,
And there was a wonderful orphanage there.
Yes, there is.
And I remember visiting. There were some Catholic sisters, I believe,
Runs it.
who were running the program. And I remember several little children come up and asked me if I would take them home to America.
Oh, I
It was
understand.
very touching.
Yes, it is.
Give me an update on Cité Soleil. That was a mile square, right?
Right.
Port-au-Prince,
Right.
if I remember.
Okay.
And tell me what you know about the orphanage.
Okay, prior to do that, allow me to give you an update about the orphanage of Fondua first, because actually I forgot to mention that, and I'm glad you brought that up. That kind of helped me. During the presentation of the slides, we don't have all, because it's going to be a 20 minutes presentation. I don't want to sit here showing slide after slide for 1 hour, and you'll be sleeping. So we have 7 very important programs in our group. We have education at 3 levels now, I guess. But as I said, I forgot to mention the orphanage. The real important thing that we do in Fondua is we start with children who do not have parents, or at least have parents, but parents who could not support them, cannot raise them. And then the sisters who run the orphanage take those children and raise them. Do you know what we do? We take these children from the orphanage to the elementary school, not elementary, to the first class kindergarten and stuff, and then elementary school, and then high school. In 2009, during the first graduation of the University of Fondua, 3 of those students were taken from the orphanage and went up all the ladders of education through the university and graduated. Right now, one of them whom you guys met, Martha, She runs the office of the university right now, right? And one of them currently is an agronomist, and the other one I'm not sure what he's doing, but he's one of those big guys somewhere. So yes, that's what happened. But in Haiti, there are orphanages throughout, and Cité Soleil is a very hot point, I would say. It used to be identified with former President Jean-Bertrand Aristide saying that they had ties, but not necessarily true because Cité Soleil existed before President Aristide and will continue to exist regardless of who's in the Haitian palace. I think there's a gentleman right now that whom some of the young ones may know. His name is Wycliffe Jean, and Wycliffe Jean is a Haitian-born an American artist right now, and he's very famous. He's a rich guy, and he is taking care of Cité Soleil. And also, there are a lot of Hollywood actors, who donate money through his organization. I believe Sean Penn has his own area in Pétionville, but sometimes he works also with Wycliffe. They're doing fine. As far as I know, they're doing fine.
Can I ask you
A
a
follow-up.
I don't mean to dominate the question.
No, that's fine.
I've been to Haiti. I've been to the Dominican
Republic.
also. And many big league baseball players, 1 out of 7 in the big leagues comes from the DR. And my question is, why do
I
we
can.
have not baseball in Haiti? And I think you'd be a very good baseball player. You don't need to be a catcher. You're not going to be a good catcher. Now, why aren't they playing baseball in Haiti, but they are in the DR, your neighbor?
Right. Thank you very much for this question. I appreciate that. And let me say that it is a very touching situation. Why? Because one who grew up in the 70s in Haiti, I knew that there were a lot of baseball manufacturer, if you will, in Haiti. And, right, and, exactly. And unfortunately, during the past 34, not the past 34 years, I would say 34 years before the election of President Aristide, that the country has known a lot of political turmoil. And there were a lot of political instability in Haiti. And most of the manufacturers that were in Haiti exited from Haiti because of fear of losing their money and their lives. And unfortunately, that has happened before they took the decision. And now, I think you may see between now and in a couple of years, some of them may return in terms of creating, having manufacturing in Haiti and creating jobs. Now, the playing of the game itself, I think most of Dominican bonds who come here, they decided to go into baseball. And they become models to the young Dominican guys in Haiti, in addition to the fact that they are now taking over the construction of the balls. Whereas Haiti, you will find more young ones playing basketball. You don't know I play basketball, you told me about baseball. But we play more basketball because most of the Haitians here, or Haitian Americans here, play basketball or they play American football. Yeah. And of course, for a long, long time, we've been very well known to playing soccer. So that's why.
Step again, that was pretty good.
Oh, yeah, you. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, you were next.
Yeah, I think I visited the University of Fonbois.
Okay. Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
So, and I think I visited that in Saint Croix.
Where?
Saint Croix.
Oh, Saint Croix.
So after graduation, after your students graduate, does your organization provide job opportunities?
Very good question.
After graduation.
Yes.
Because I've met a lot of students there that. Okay,
You can say it. You can say it. No, you can say it. I kind of know what they're saying, and it's obvious. It's obvious.
A lot of students that say that.
Right.
They don't know what they're uncertain about what they want to do, and so does your organization
Okay. Let me answer that by talking about our objectives. When we created the university, our objective was not to, of course we are aware, and then it's true. I have a couple of students on my tape that when I went in April for the 25th anniversary who told me the same thing. And then I kind of take them back, to 2009, 2004 and explain to them. The purpose of creating the university was for this. We want to get not students only from Fondois, but from Jacmel, or the map is not there, from Jacmel, from Les Cayes, from almost anywhere in Haiti. We want, I use the word decentralization. We want to see if they can come and learn and graduate and come back or go back to their native area and working with the local government and the local leaders to duplicate the work that we are doing in Fondwa. The purpose was not necessarily to train them and give them a job, because obviously we could not, or maybe you can give someone a job to teach. You can give somebody who graduated in agronomy a job, in one of those things that Edwis Alcine is doing. He is one of the guys from Fondwa. He graduated, he has a doctorate. He went to Cuba. Yes, he has a job, but you cannot provide job to all of those students. So the purpose is to educate them and improve the literacy rate, and then at the same time duplicate the work that we are doing in different areas, because we cannot do it all over the country. We are not national.
Do you work with students at Port-au-Prince too?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Students in Port-au-Prince too? Or is it mostly like the provinces?
Yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm discriminating or anything like that, but we prefer to get students from the rural areas, because we said that there are so many universities in Port-au-Prince, and there are so many possibilities of getting help to go to school in Port-au-Prince, whereas those children in the rural areas, first of all, they walk miles. If I stay here and talk about the story, I mean so many stories that we have of the history of development in the rural areas, it's going to make you cry. People walk 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 miles to go to school, both ways, And in Port-au-Prince, they walk 5 minutes, they can take a tap, they can take, a taxi, 50 cents, 2 good, 5 goods, 25 good. So did I answer your question?
You did, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Miss? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Oh, we are off time. Oh. I was getting excited now. So if you want, after the conclusion, we can chat a little bit for a few minutes. And if I don't have an answer, you can ask Kelly. She's an expert. Anjali is an expert. Jennifer is an expert. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we'd like to thank you all guys for coming out and talking with us and discussing and listening to us. We'd like to invite you all to continue being active about the issues that are happening in Haiti, and just continue to be looking out and engaging yourself in what's actually happening around the world, and not just being closed-minded about what is only happening in the U.S. And you guys can stick around and ask Andre some questions. We'll be here. Thanks again.